Greetings, everybody. I hope you all are doing well. This is the first video for Tuesday's class, November 17th. It's the 17th, yes. All right. And I want to just go over some things with you that I would say if we were meeting in class. And then I'll have a second video that I need you to look at second. And it's going to be the information for essay number 4, which is going to be due on Thursday night. Sorry for all the changes. I know it's been confusing. It's been confusing for me too. So the first thing I want you to do when you get off here is to go look at essay 3. I've finished grading all that's come in so far. And I've written comments on everybody's, and some of those comments are just correcting small problems, but the main ones are usually at the top. And if you had significant problems that I think you really need to work on before the final exam, I have written comments there, and I need you to know them. I need you to work on them. The important thing is to get ready to pass that final exam. You have to have a 70 in the class and a passing grade on the final exam to get through 0989. So I hope you'll make that your goal. We're going to practice with essay 4, and I graded essay 3 just like I would have a final exam in most cases. And I will do the same with essay 4, and I'll make some general comments. I may not be ready or up to or able to spend the time to make significant comments. But as well, if you have questions about essay 3 and you want to talk to me, we can meet on Collaborate. I don't have to see your face. We can just talk and look at your picture up on the screen. So let me know, give me an email. We can set up a time. It's really easy. I think you can even do it on your phone if you wanted to. So I wanted to run through, a lot of you, quite a few of you still are having trouble doing citations and using secondary sources. So I'm going to run through a quiz that I found that another teacher had prepared that we're going to just talk through and answer. And then after that, I have got something on there called Quick Quiz on Citations, and I'm going to ask you to do this for a test grade. I don't know if you noticed, but we skipped test number 2 at the end of the year, at the end of the semester, because mostly because of the time I've missed on it. So this quick quiz on citations just asks you to do 2 sentences, just two, for the test, for a test grade. So I want you to do it carefully, to go study beforehand. It's open book. I've given you in the information the places to go look for models. So let me open up my screen. Let me share it with you just a moment. All right, here we go. All right, so I am in our class now, and you'll see essay 4 is up there, but just pretend you don't see it yet. See, it's hidden from students. That'll be on a little bit in just a bit. Module 4, you'll see if you go down here, these will be available to you tomorrow, but I'm going to run through a quiz on using secondary sources. And then I will ask you to do this quick quote quiz, and I'll open it up after we're done with this one. So let's go ahead and take it together, and I just want you to see what the quiz would have looked like and how the answers would have been. So I want you to really pay attention to this. Let me make it as big as I can. Question 1. Which of the following describes how to quote an author? Okay. You copy the words exactly as the original author wrote them and put quotation marks around them. begin with a signal phrase, and conclude with a parenthetical citation. That just means information about where it came from in parentheses. Or B, say the original author's ideas in your own words. Do not use quotation marks. Begin with a signal phrase and conclude with a parenthetical citation. So you see that they're asking about how to quote another author. So this is going to be A. B is not wrong if you are going to paraphrase. And that's the answer here. Say the author's ideas in your own words. Don't use quotation marks, but you still begin with that signal phrase that, according to John Emerson in his article, I Love Pizza, pepperoni pizza is the most popular in the world. So you're going to begin with the signal phrase, with his name, possibly the article's name if you haven't said it already previously. And then at the end, you're going to put, page 20. You're not going to put page, you're just going to put 24 in parentheses. And that's how to paraphrase. Okay. Which of the following is a signal phrase? Remember those signal verbs. Which of the following is a signal phrase that you could use to introduce a quote or a paraphrase? Okay, first of all, is that a signal phrase? No. Parikh wrote the article titled Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of Fat Kids. Is that a signal phrase? No, it's just a statement of fact. So we're left with C, which is the signal phrase. In Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of Fat Kids, Parikh says that, and then you're going to go ahead with the quote or the paraphrase, either one. So this is a signal phrase, and here's that signal verb. And this just shows the reader that something's coming that isn't from your words, and possibly the information of the article and the person who wrote it. So that's a signal phrase, signal that a quote or a paraphrase is coming. Which of the following is a correct parenthetical citation? Okay, so we see it's all the same up to the end. So Parikh acknowledges that parents need to take charge of what foods they're buying and how they're preparing those foods. And there are 3 different ways that they're saying that you can do this after to give the page number. So here's a period here, page 314 period. Down here, there's a period here. Then you've got page P dot 314 in parentheses. Both of these are wrong. B is the correct one. No period at the end of the sentence. Put the page number in parentheses and follow that by the period. Okay, so B is correct. Question 5. Secondary source material can do which of the following in your essay? Can it make or restate a subpoint that you're making in your paragraph? Absolutely. It can make that subpoint or restate one of them that you've already said. Can it give an example of a subpoint? Yes, it can. So either of those, either A or B. That is how you're going to use the secondary source material. You're not going to use it as your topic sentence. You're not going to summarize an article for a whole paragraph. It's just going to be one subpoint or an example of your subpoint. Your argument is the star, not what the authors of the articles have said. They're just there to lend a sentence or two to support you. Okay, if the secondary source material you want to use is a long anecdote, or otherwise called a story, what's probably the best way to include it in your paragraph? Well, you're probably going to want to paraphrase it. If it's a long story of 3 to 5 sentences even, you're going to paraphrase it and kind of retell it. Now, you're still going to quote it. You're going to say who wrote it. You're going to put the page number at the end, possibly even the name of the article in there if you haven't said that, used that article before in your essay. A couple of you did that, especially with the article about those that are blind and the children in the third world countries who are blind. And you did a pretty good job of that. Question 7. If the original material uses powerful language that you particularly like, then you probably want to quote it. For example, I know that one of the students used Helen Keller's in the article about the blind, used the quote from Helen Keller that was at the end of that article. And that was a particularly well-written sentence and definitely worth quoting. Okay. What is the best way to refer to author Rahul Parikh? Would you call him Rahul? Would you call him Parikh? Would you call him Dr. Parikh? Well, after you've just introduced him for the first time with his whole name, you're always just going to call him Parikh. It may feel strange. It may feel kind of not respectful, but it's really the way to do it. Just use that last name. Which of the following provides the best support for the following generalization? Okay, so one of your points is, or your topic sentence either, could be repetitive advertising may be annoying, but it works. And so we've got 2 quotes here. Let's look at them. Marketing consultant Charles O'Neill gives the example of an ad for Cars for Kids, a very repetitive jingle that radio listeners complained about. Nonetheless, the company, a charity, reported $23 million in donations in 2009. And then it's from page 129. Okay, so there's one. And remember, we're looking for repetitive advertising may be annoying, but it works. And the second possibility is, according to marketing consultant Charles O'Neill, advertising slogans may seem casual, but in fact they are carefully engineered with a clear purpose to trigger a specific response. Page 129 as well. So which one would you choose, do you think, is going to support your repetitive advertising may be annoying, but it works? I think it's going to be A, because it does talk about this is repetitive and listeners complained about it, so it must have been annoying. I can almost sing it for you. Can you sing it? Can you remember that thing? 1-800 Cars for Kids. I can't remember the exact tune, but and this one, it talks about not about being casual and carefully engineered with a clear purpose. But that does not exactly support this point that you're trying to make. So we're going to go with A. All right, I just thought that was kind of an easy way for me to just run through some very important information. And you can go back and look at it again and stop it and look at how those were written if you need to. We're going to go back to the lessons. Module 4, and I want you to go down to the bottom, and this is your exam. Tomorrow I'll have it available. I'll bring them up and make them available as soon as I wake up. So let's look at this. You're going to begin it. And here's all I want you to do, and I want you to do it right here. So give 2 examples of how to provide an in-text citation. which means you're using MLA style to show the name of the author, the title of the article, and the page number quoting. Use a real author and a real quotation from your textbook. I prefer that you do it from chapter 10 as well. And show the two different ways you can document the source in a sentence. Okay, and here I've got the two different ways that I want you to do. But here, more information. You can find the format in the book, in your intersections book on page 135, in the section called In-Text Parenthetical References. Or you can see the basic information on our course site in Lessons, Module 3, Citation Presentation, and slides 17, 18, and 19. Okay, so here's the first sentence I want you to do. Sentence 1, blend your quotation into a sentence using the author's last name and article name and the page number in parentheses. Okay. And then the second one, blend your quotation into a sentence not using the author's name. Okay, put both the author's last name and page number in parentheses. It's as if it was the second time you've mentioned this particular author in the article. And because of that, there's no need to use the article name, just the author's name and the page number at the end. All right, so do those carefully. Get 100. It will, this as a test grade, it's considerably easy, and it will considerably raise your grade. So do it really carefully and follow the models that you find in our course. All right, so I would really like that done by the end of tonight, Tuesday. It shouldn't take you that long. And I'll make a note of that and put it in the announcements as well. All right. So you can stop and do that now and read recording 2 later, listen to recording 2 afterwards, or you can go on to recording 2 right now. And let me stop the recording. I'll see you again in just a minute.